Explore your knowledge with the Botnica.
History of paleobotany. So what is the meaning of paleobotany? So paleobotany is like a detective work for ancient plant. It is the study of plant fossils to learn how plants have changed over millions of the year. So paleobotany, it is an interdisciplinary science which deals with the identification and study of plant fossils. Simply, paleobotany, it is a field of science which deals with the study of plant fossils and their identification, like an archaeologist, and like an archaeological field which deals with the study of remains and remains identification. So same like a archaeologist or archaeological field. So paleobotany, it is an different distinct field which deals with the study of plant fossils and their identifications. And the scientists involved in the paleobotany field, or the scientists which study and identify the plant fossils, they are called as paleobotanists. If we take example, imagine finding a dinosaur bone. It tells you about a creature that lived long ago. Similarly, paleobotanists find fossilized leaf to understand how the plant look, where they grew, and how they evolved. They can even piece together in an ancient forest and learn about the Earth's past climate. Okay, if some archaeologists, they are finding the dinosaurs remain, or the dinosaurs fossils. So this dinosaur fossils or this dinosaur remains tells tell about the past history of that group of creature. It tells about how they live, which kind of character they shows, which kind of reproduction they shows, how they behave. This all information gathers through their fossils. Same like this, the paleobotanist find the plant fossils. This plant fossils gives information about this particular plant, how this plant grew, how they are interrelated with each other, which kind of habitat they show, and in which habitat they live, which kind of reproduction this plant shows. This all information gathered with the help of these plant fossils. The plant fossils are maybe leaves of this plant, the stem of these plants, and the root, and any other remaining part of this plant which can be preserved over time in a earth earth layers. So this field help us to understand about earth history. So these remains or these fossils plants help us to understand about earth history, how the time scale is going on, which geological times occurs, which geological scales occurs, and in which period which kind of events take place. This all information, these all details are revealed with the help of these plant fossils. And also it tells about the diversity of life on earth from past to the present. It tells about various kind of floras and faunas which flourished in the earth from the past to the present. Now, the shaping our knowledge about plant evolution and also about past climate. So this plant fossils tells us about tell us about the past climate. So which kind of climatic condition take place in the past, how the climatic condition changes over the time, which factors is responsible to change the uh, climatic conditions, and how the temperature, pressure, and any other physical factors affect the growth of the plant, and how the plant's evolution take place. This is all information given by the plant fossils. So next topic and our main topic is history of paleobotany. So there are some early observations take place. Now first early observation in an ancient civilization. um, So, while not formally recognized as a paleobotany, so in a early time or in an ancient time, paleobotany not occurs as a distinct field. So, while not normally recognized as a paleobotany, early civilizations like the Greek and Romans observed the fossilized plants, and sometimes attributed them to the mythical creature or a divine intervention. So, in ancient times, some Greek and Romans observed some fossilized plants, and they observed some fossilized plants, and they considered this fossil plant as a mythical creation. So, what is the meaning of mythical creation? So, fantastical being that exist only in the stories and the myths. some some points or some things that only exist in a stories, or it like a, they consider it like a stories, or they consider it like a some supernatural powers, natural powers of the natures, and also they consider it as a divine intervention. So what is the divine intervention? They consider this fossilized plant as the act of the god, or they consider this particular plant fossil created by the god. So this is about ancient civilization, history of the paleobotany. Next, when the Renaissance and Enlightenment period occurs, the Renaissance was a renewed interest in the natural history. So the Renaissance, the Renaissance, the Renaissance, a time of renewed interest in classical art, literature, and philosophy. This the this Renaissance this Renaissance period. It is the time. It is the time in which the interest related to classical art, literature, philosophy developed in between the peoples and in a society. A time of scientific and technological progress. This Renaissance, it is nothing but the time of technological and scientific development. In this period, many literature, classical art, and philosophy are developed. A time of exploration and discovery. This Renaissance period is a time of discovery and new explorations. So, what is an enlightenment? So, enlightenment, a time when a reason and individual liberty were emphasized. So, in this period, peoples are libertically free. A time when ideas were sought to improve the condition of humankind. A time when the thinkers like Voltaire and Benjamin Franklin were influenced. A time when ideas about the society, economy, philosophy, and science were reformed. So this is about enlightenment. So in this Renaissance and Enlightenment period, scholar like Leonardo da Vinci studying the marine fossils. So this is one of the scholar named as Leonardo da Vinci. He studied marine fossil in this period of Renaissance and Enlightenment. The Enlightenment brought about more systematic observation and classification of plant fossils. So this is about some early observation and curiosities. Next is the birth of the modern paleobotany. So in the 19th century, the 19th century witnessed the true emergence of the paleobotany as a distinct field of the study. So in 19th century, the paleobotany developed as a distinct field. So before the 19th century, there is no interdisciplinary science which deals with the study of the fossils. So there are two main scientists with deals with the study of paleobotany in the initial period or in a modern time. So Adolphe Theodore Brongniart in the time period of 1801 to 1876. Adolphe Theodore Brongniart, also known as the father of paleobotany. Brongniart pioneered the use of plant fossils to understand the history and the evolution of the plant life. His work on the relation between living and existing extinct plant laid the foundation for the modern paleobotany. So, what is the contribution of this Adolphe Theodore? He tells us, or he tells us about how to use the plant fossils to study the Earth history, and how the plant fossils are useful to study the plant evolutionary history and the study of past plants' life. His work on the relation between the living and extinct plant laid the foundation of the paleobotany. So he worked on the relation between the living and extinct plant. Laid the this act of the Adolphe Theodore laid the foundation of the modern paleobotany. Now next scientist or paleobotanist is William Buckland. He worked in the period of 1784 to 1856. A geologist. William Buckland is a geologist and paleontologist. Buckland made a significant contribution to the paleobotany through his studies of fossil plants from the coal majors. So consider if there is a coal stone or the stone formed from the coals. So on this coal stone there is a printings of the plant fossils or the plant particular part of the plant. So William Buckland studied these fossils or studied these plant fossils which imprinting on the coal majors. So particularly this the imprinting of the plant fossils on these coal majors are considered as in a Carboniferous periods. So uh, there are some key developments and advancements take place which initiate or which increase the growth of the paleobotany as a distinct field. So first invention or first development are a microscope and the chemistry. So the microscope, the invention of the microscope in 17th century revolutionized the paleobotany. So microscope, it is used to observe the microscopic objects or used to study the minor part of any object. So this development of this microscope in 17th century revolutionized the paleobotany. It helped to study the various kind of the plants having the micro creations or the microstructure, allowing for the detailed examination of the plant tissue and cellular structure. It microscope also helps to study the fossils plant tissue and their cellular structures. Advancements in the chemistry enable scientists to analyze the chemical composition of the fossils plant. So what is the chemical composition? It is a type of arrangement, ratio and type of atoms in the chemical substances. In which kind of atoms, which kind of substances are found in the fossils, or which fossil shows which kind of chemical are composition show this all the inventions or this all the modernization take place after the when chemistry or advanced chemistry comes in a field. So it provides insight into their origin and environment. The chemistry, advanced chemistry, help us to understand the evolution of the plants, and also it help in the study of the fossils by knowing their chemical composition. So next is the radiometric dating. Radiometric dating, the development of a radiometric dating technique in the 20th century provide a more accurate time scale for the Earth history and the evolution of the plant life. So, the method of the radiometric dating tells about any particular object's historical background or their time of evolution and their historical time scale by the radio there are some radioisotopes are there in on the surface of any object. With the help of this radio isotopes examination, uh, the radiometric dating take place. Next is the paleontology, the study of pollen and spores, a subfield of paleobotany gained the prominence in the 20th century, providing the valuable information about the past vegetation and climate. So paleontology it is a distinct field which developed from the paleobotany, or it also considered as a subfield of the paleobotany. In this field, the scientists study the structure of the pollen grain, their chemical composition, and all aspects related to the pollen grains and pollens and spores. So these pollen and spores remains are helpful to collect the information related to the plant fossils, and also this paleontology field, the development of this paleontology field tells us or gives us information about the past vegetation or past vegetations means in which area which kind of plants are occurs or grow, and in which kind of habitat they flourish, and also tells us about the past climatic conditions. So finally is modern paleobotany. So the modern paleobotany interdisciplinary, uh, so on the development of paleobotany is going on due to some modern actions such as interdisciplinary approach. Today paleobotany is an interdisciplinary field drawing on techniques and knowledge from the botany, geology, chemistry and other sciences. So paleobotany relate with the geology, also relate with the chemistry and science. So these are the some aspects which develop paleobotany as a interdisciplinary science. And also there are global collaboration take place. Paleobotanists worldwide collaborate on a research project, sharing data and expertise to advance our understanding of plant evolution and earth history. So this paleobotany globally gathered or different paleobotany from different countries collaborated on to study the research, uh, to study about the plant evolution, their history, and also there are some research papers are developed by the different scientists on research projects developed by the different scientists for the study of plant fossils and their plant history. Also, the new technologies, the advent of new technologies such as electron microscope and DNA sequencing has opened a new avenues of research in paleobotany. So, this some new developments and technologies reveal numbers of mm, factor related to the study, or it also help in a research, help to carry out research in a paleobotany. So this is all about the history of the paleobotany and some modern innovation which contribute to develop paleobotany as a distinct field. So the topic of history of paleobotany is over. So thank you.